Research published in the September issue of Political Research Quarterly has found that political opinion shows influence negative attitudes towards presidential candidates. Duh. It took a study to figure this out. Glenn Smith of the University of North Georgia and Kathleen Searles of Augusta State University wrote, an increasing number of Americans engage in selective exposure to ideologically consistent news sources. This fact has caused some scholars and pundits to worry that partisan news sources such as Fox News are making their audiences more polarized.
Right, of course. I mean, duh. Fox News viewers are biased. No shit.
Fair and balanced. Now, let's be fair.
That's ironic right there. How ironic is this? That their catchphrase is fair and balanced. It's like they're purposely being ironic. They have to know they're full of shit on that one.
It's not just Fox News. It's MSNBC, too. They're included in this study. The researchers found that Fox News viewers became more favorable with McCain and less favorable of Obama over the course of the 2008 presidential election. Both Fox's news programs and opinion shows made viewers more favorable of McCain and less favorable of Obama. But the effect was stronger for those who watched the opinion shows. The study also found that MSNBC's opinion shows had the converse effect. Viewers became more favorable of Obama and less favorable of McCain. And it goes into why. Opinion shows on both news networks adopted an attack mentality. During the 2008 election season, pundits on MSNBC and Fox News attacked the candidate they disagreed with far more often than they voiced support for the candidate they agreed with.
Well, no kidding.
Absolutely. You know that dirty politics works. Trashing the other guy, it works. Instead of extolling the plan that you have for your candidate, and this goes for both sides, Republicans and Democrats, attack ads work best. And we've seen it over and over and over.
I am just sort of wondering, though, how do they know that the cause and effect is what they're saying? How do they know that people watching Fox News started feeling more favorably towards Mitt Romney rather than people who favored Mitt Romney just watch Fox News more? Yeah, obviously our mainstream news media is not unbiased in any sense of the word.
Not at all.
And I don't even consider MSNBC to be particularly progressive, even though they are the preferred news station among Democrats.
Mm-hmm. Now, this tendency to attack the opposition influenced how viewers perceive the candidates. Watching Fox News opinion shows made viewers more likely to think Obama was extremely liberal. Now, let's understand. Let's dive into that. Extremely liberal.
There's nothing.
Obama an extreme liberal?
Well, no, that is not the adjective I would use. I would say barely liberal.
President Obama is a Rockefeller Republican. He's center-right.
Yeah, unfortunately, that seems to be the case. He promised a lot of things that made me very hopeful, but he's obviously...
It's campaigning 101. You promise them the moon, and then, you know...
You lie. That's the campaign model. You lie, and then
people get in there, you say, over the next 4 years.
Yeah, and you know, what are they going to do now? You know, he doesn't have to worry about re-election. He can do whatever he wants. If he were really liberal and progressive, he would be pushing for liberal and progressive agendas. You know, things like ending the drug war. But he's not. Thus, he's not obviously really liberal and progressive. Otherwise, he's just a coward. And either way, he's a hypocrite.
Now he's taking some very small steps. Don't get me wrong. He's been really good on LGBT issues, and even having Eric Holder do something about mandatory minimum sentences. That's a small thing, but the Obama administration is really good at doing small things and calling it historic reform. Remember, Dodd-Frank or the immigration bill, which is actually deeply draconian and very punishing.
Yes, and just like Obamacare, which is better than what we have, but still favors and is going to give a lot of money to insurance companies.
Because it's a conservative idea. And I'll get to some of the hypocrisy on that whole thing, but I want to say that conversely, watching MSNBC opinion shows made viewers more likely to think McCain was extremely conservative. So it goes both ways. And to be absolutely real, it goes both ways. Now, this report continues, watching Fox News opinion shows had little impact on how viewers perceived McCain's ideology, and watching MSNBC opinion shows had little impact on how viewers perceived Obama's ideology, because they're so focused on tearing the other guys down. The studies suggest that viewers' attitudes are shaped predominantly by vitriolic coverage of the opposition. Rather than viewers consuming news from a source that confirms their support for their in-party candidate, viewers are consuming news from a source that seems to confirm their distaste for the opposition. The result is not only more polarized partisans, but also partisans who are polarized because they hate the other side, rather than because they are card-carrying supporters of their side. So,
well, yeah, and you're forced between a rock and a hard place because you only get the two choices. So you either elect the guy that you really, really hate, or you elect the guy that you kind of sort of are more okay with. And those aren't real choices. Those aren't real candidates for the leader of our country. That's not what we really want. We want actual choices, but we don't get third parties. We don't get a say in the primaries, and you know, who becomes the candidate that we're supposed to then back blindly and, you know, without question.
right.
It's become a farce. It's become a farce. It's become a game for them and a show for us. That's basically what it is